Hey kids, look to the sky. The bat signal is shining and it calls to DC fans everywhere. James Gunn and co. have provided healthy updates for their entire slate of upcoming projects, including films, TV shows, both live action and animated, and much more. We're going to talk about all the details, but before we do, I want to give you guys an update regarding some other cool stuff happening in the world of superheroes. If you're a fan of Batman and video games in general, then I assume you've heard of the Arkham series, a collection of video games that are arguably more of a Batman simulator than they are anything else, as they give you complete control over the Cape Crusader and let you fight off his entire rogues gallery of amazing villains. And while you get to do this, you're doing it in some amazing locations, such as Arkham Asylum, where Batman takes the baddest of the bad, Arkham City, which is technically part of Gotham proper, but crime is so bad in Gotham, kids, that they actually had to convert part of the slums of Gotham into like this massive jail. And so part of the city is turned into this prison that you as Batman get to run through and punch crime in the face, and it's freaking fantastic. And then you also get to run through Gotham proper, the actual city itself, not the jail portion, the actual city. You get to do that in Arkham Knight, and that is the last game in the series. And there are technically four in total, but when you think of the Arkham series, or at least when fans do, they probably think of the original trilogy, which are Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, as they were made by the company known as Rocksteady. And then you have the black sheep of the family, known as Arkham Origins, which were made by a different company altogether. And I had played the majority of these games in the series. I had played three, being Origins, Asylum, and City, and they're all great. I really like them, but I had not played the last one in the series, known as Arkham Knight, until now, because recently I got this game for 90% off, 90% off on the PlayStation Store. So I got it for a whopping $4, and I got the Ultimate Edition, which includes extra story content and side missions and cool skins for you as Batman and your Batmobile. Yes, kids, in Arkham Knight, they give you complete control over the Batmobile, and it's freaking awesome. Even though the thing kind of drives like it's constantly moving on ice, but whatever, it's still awesome. And this game has been freaking fantastic. It's a lot of fun to run through and literally just take on, as I said, his entire rogues gallery in Gotham, and they give you access to all the Batman moves and all his gadgets, and it's a freaking blast. And so while we as DC fans eagerly await the return of Superman with his upcoming movie this July, if you need, if you need your Batman fix, there's no movie coming, at least not for a couple of years. So I recommend checking out this series of video games known as the Arkham series. I think they're all fantastic, and Arkham Knight has proven to be really, really good. It's exceeded my expectations so far, just minus the Batmobile, but even then it's still cool, even though, again, it drives like it's, on ice. But anyway, Arkham Knight is a lot of fun, and I don't know if it's still on sale now at the time of this recording, but I'm sure it'll go on sale again sometime soon. And even if it's not, you should totally check it out because it is fantastic. So yeah, if you can pick it up somewhere, I recommend it because it's a great time and I think you'll have fun. Anyway, moving on. We're going to step away from Batman for a minute and pivot into Superman, which is nothing new for this podcast, but I do have something new to share with you regarding Superman, and it is that Superman, the man in blue himself, he liked my tweet. Yes, kids, you heard that right. Superman has Twitter, and he liked my tweet. Or at least the account dedicated to his upcoming movie releasing this July. I had done an excitement post for the movie. It was literally counting down the days, and I posted it to Twitter. And a couple of days went by, and my phone one day beeped, and I looked at it, and I saw that Superman had liked my tweet in the text description for notifications on my phone. That's all it said. Superman liked your tweet, and I was like, what? And so then I open it up, and I see that the official Twitter account for the film itself liked my tweet. And I like to think, kids, that Superman has his own account and that he himself is liking tweets. I like to think that while he's at the Fortress of Solitude just chilling out, he's scrolling Twitter and he's like, yep, that's a good one. This kid's excited. Boop, I'm going to like it. I'm going to throw you a bone, a super bone, if you will. And so I like the fact that I like the fact that possibly Superman liked my tweet one day. And what's even better about this is that I had seen this notification while I was driving to the gym. and I know you shouldn't text and drive and whatever, but I was in the parking lot. I was looking for a parking space, so it's not like I was like on the road. Give me a pass, please. Don't tell Superman. But I was looking for a parking spot. My phone beeped, and I saw Superman like my tweet, and I'm like, what? And then I find the spot. I pull in, I open it up, and I'm like freaking out. And I'm like, they know I exist. Tell them I say hi. So I got all excited, and yeah, it's just amazing. I immediately took a screenshot of that, so I'd have that forever. And yeah, it's amazing. The fact that Superman himself, let me dream. The fact that he liked my tweet really was just a good shot in the arm, and I had one of the best workouts of my life because of that. So thank you, Superman. I appreciate that, and thank you for checking Twitter every now and then. And to all you listeners, I hope you know that that's all it takes to get in touch with Superman. You just have to have a good tweet every now and then. And yeah, this is your friendly reminder that Superman comes out this July. So yeah, it sure is cool. But my excitement for Superman does not end there, kids, because on the heels of this notification, I had received another notification regarding Superman. And no, he did not like another tweet, nor did he message me. Maybe that'll happen one day, Lord willing. But this actually has to do with an artist I was in contact with who had done a custom piece of me, your host of the Far Out Podcast, as the Man of Steel. And this is the art piece in question. This is done by an artist known as Lily Arthur. And this had all started when I, just spat onto Twitter. Yet again, I posted about Superman, and I said, if there's any artists, who would be interested in drawing or creating a picture of me as Superman, I would really appreciate that. And I felt like I was just kind of, throwing a dart, at nothing. I didn't know what would happen. But after that tweet, got sent, that opened the floodgates for art Twitter, for Twitter artists to come and find me. And there were lots of replies and lots of conversations about, what I was looking for in this piece. And so there was genuine interest in getting a picture of me, drawn as Superman. And just among all the artists I talked to, Lily ended up coming out on top. And I really appreciate this. And I was so overwhelmed with the positive reaction of people wanting to do this. And I'm very happy to have this kind of rendition of me as the Man of Steel. If this is the closest I ever get to being a superhero, then I mean this is perfect. Like this exceeded my expectations, and I'm so happy to have this. And yeah, it feels so good to be a Superman fan right now. And yeah, I just wanted to share this piece of art because I think it really is tremendous. And again, I'll give another shout out to Lily Arthur, and I'll drop a link to her socials in the description down below. But yes, thank you, Lily, for drawing me as the Man of Steel. And yeah, I'm so excited for Superman in theaters this July, kids. So get ready. But we're not done with Superman just yet, kids. There's one more topic I want to discuss regarding the Man of Steel. And if you thought I nerded out over a tweet, then you're going to see this next thing and think, oh my gosh, this guy is a geek. He won't shut up about Superman, which is true. But this has to do with the marketing of the film because as the film gets closer, being this July, the marketing is effectively in full swing. We've got one movie trailer. I hear another's on the way soon, hopefully. Let's see, who knows? We've got a poster with more coming. We've got word about like special popcorn buckets and t-shirts coming. Like we're getting into the season of Superman. And one piece of marketing that really caught my eye is a Superman themed toothbrush. And I know you kids probably all just face palmed, wherever you're watching this because you're like, really? Really? You're talking about a toothbrush? I'm going to tell you why though, kids. For me, this is classic childhood movie marketing. I mean, this takes me back to the days of like Happy Meals at McDonald's and the Toys and Burger King, meals and stuff like that. And this toothbrush thing that I saw, I mean, this reminded me of like that old product called like Tooth Tunes, where it was like it would be a toothbrush, but it had like an MP3 loaded up of some song, and it was meant to make you brush for like a minute or 2 minutes or something. And I remember there was toothbrushes that had like the Jonas Brothers in there and Smash Mouth because this was the time around like when Shrek was big. And so for me, seeing a Superman branded toothbrush, I was like, holy crap! I was like, the childhood is still there. Like these things aren't going away. And so I'm just really hoping that Superman is as big as I want it to be, because again, if you know anything about this movie, this is not just one singular movie. This is the planned start of an entire universe, an entire saga revolving around the DC superheroes. And so, like, I want this to do well so we can have a series of films with DC, like we have a series of films with Marvel. And again, for me, this one singular piece of marketing that you can find at any Walmart or Target or whatever, it to me just captured like, holy crap, like we're here. They're putting Superman on freaking everything, not just the billboards, but on like the small things like toothbrushes. So yeah, I'm all in on the Superman movie, and it really just brought a smile to my face knowing that, again, the marketing that I saw for Shrek back in like 2000, like 3 or 4, it's still relevant for a movie coming out in 2025. So one more time, kids, Superman flies into theaters this July, and I'm not going to let you forget it. All right, kids, let's get down to the topic at hand. The whole reason why the bat signal was lit up to begin with. James Gunn and co. have revealed updates regarding how they want DC Studios to operate on a year-by-year basis. They've also provided updates regarding projects and development, how many projects they want to do over how long a period of time. There's a lot to discuss, so let's just dive right in. James Gunn, who is the head of DC Studios, along with Peter Safran, his producer, they've revealed that they have a 6-year plan regarding the DCU. That's the DC universe that they're creating, the one that's starting with Superman, the upcoming movie. And their plans over the next 6 years are to do a number of projects per year. So per year, they want to do 2 live action films, 1 animated film, so a total of 3 films. Then they want to do 2 live action television shows, and then 2 animated television shows. So again, 3 films, 4 series a year. They want to do 7 DC projects a year. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's more than Marvel, who, like them with the Avengers and Captain America and Spider-Man, I mean, they were averaging 3 films a year before Disney Plus came in, and even after Disney Plus happened, I think they only started doing 1 TV show plus the 3 films. So for a bit there, they were at 4, maybe 5 a year. But there's no way Marvel ever got close to 7. And now DC Studios, for their first year, well, not counting this year, all they have for this year was Creature Commandos, which started in December of 24 and bled into 25, and they have Superman coming out this July. I don't think there's anything left for 2025, but I think perhaps in 2026, that's when they want this kind of output to start. But still, a total of 3 films, 2 live action, 1 animated. That already is enough right there. Then they want to do 2 live action TV shows and 2 animated TV shows per year for the next 6 years. That's a lot. That might even be too much, even for me. And here's the thing is that we're now at a point where, even for me as a super fan, I said this on the last episode of the podcast, it's been hard for me to keep up with all of the Marvel and Star Wars shows. Like, I love comic books and superheroes, and I love Star Wars, but now there are Star Wars projects that I'm skipping, which, like, you asked me that 10 years ago. There's, like, no way I would have said that. Like, they could release, Gonk Droid the series. I would have been like, oh, yeah. And for Marvel, it could have been like, what? They're doing, what's a lesser known guy they're doing? Howard the Duck. I mean, that's a deep, deep cut for those that know that. But it's like they're doing, Howard the Duck. Is it Marvel? Yes, I'll watch it. Whereas, like, nowadays, it's like, how long is it? Oh, 3 seasons. I'll wait for the next movie. That's kind of where I'm at. So I fear that, as excited as I am for DC and I'm ready for them to start off strong with Superman, this is a lot. This is a lot. I certainly won't skip any films, at least I don't think, but perhaps there are some series in here that could end up being skipped by me. Like, again, Creature Commandos, they were so smart with that because that was a really hard sell, but that was the first thing that they did in their new creative process. It's kind of sort of the prequel to Superman, as it establishes locations and people in the universe of Superman, and that was a adult animated TV show, and like I had to push through that. But like, had they released Creature Commandos after Superman, I would have probably skipped it, to be honest, because it was a little too much for me. So if one of the series they want to do is a continuation of Commandos, for example, I might skip it, to be honest. So there could be some that fall through the cracks, which they're doing a lot, which on paper is good. But I mean, 7 projects a year for the next 6 years. Boy, that's a lot. Could be too much. But in addition to their output for the next 6 years, James Gunn has described how they want this next 6 years of storytelling to culminate in an Avengers style team up movie, which, as we know for DC, would be the Justice League. And so James Gunn has said that after the next 6 years of storytelling, he's envisioning a team up, which I would assume are akin to the Justice League. And so that's great. I mean, we've got Superman coming out this July. We got Supergirl in 2026. There's a Batman project in there somewhere. There's Green Lanterns coming as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit. There's Wonder Woman in the wings, I'm sure. So they're about ready to start dropping these pieces that are eventually going to form this puzzle known as Justice League. And the fact that James Gunn has this idea regarding where he wants the Justice League to end up, or to at least be introduced to us, that being 6 years away, that's great. So we might be seeing a Justice League movie come 2030, 2031, which is very cool. But also keeping with comments that James Gunn made. I mean, these are all coming from him, but like he made some, directly regarding himself and Peter Safran. He said that he is working very closely with the writers of the upcoming Batman movie, Batman the Brave and the Bold. This is one that features Batman alongside Robin, and in this interpretation of the character, Robin will be the biological son of Batman, whereas before, the Robin that most people know, whether you're a big fan or not, his name is Dick Grayson, Richard Grayson, who goes on to become Nightwing, and he is someone who Batman adopts. Whereas in this version, Batman is going to have a son who's going to become Robin, known as Damian Wayne. And this is a movie called The Brave and the Bold, and it's going to be reportedly directed by Andy Muschietti, who directed the It movies, the one with the clowns. He also did that Flash movie a couple years ago, which was kind of so-so. The reason why, though, I think he got the Batman job was because in the Flash movie there are many Batmans. Like he got to kind of cut his teeth on the Caped Crusader, and I think James Gunn, before he took over DC, I think as he was getting ready to take over DC, he saw that Andy Muschietti did a okay job with the Flash overall as a character, but he did a pretty good job with Batman as a character. Hence why I think he got the job that he did. I don't know if it's actually going to be directed by Andy Muschietti, because he himself and James Gunn have given conflicting reports regarding the process of this film and where it falls, like, on the assembly line. One has said it's moving along smoothly, being James Gunn. Andy Muschietti has said, well, I don't know if it's going to be the next thing I do. I don't know if I'm going to do it. He's kind of given these so-so answers. And the fact that the director he seemingly is not working on the script himself, that's a little concerning to me. So maybe, sadly, Andy Muschietti is just a placeholder. I mean, I wouldn't really be sad to see him go, but he was announced. But yeah, James Gunn has said that he's working closely with the writers of The Brave and the Bold. I imagine he's certainly giving input, if not writing it himself, because James Gunn wrote and directed Superman himself, so he is an established writer. So if he's not writing it himself, he's working with the writers closely, he said, and he said that director Andy Muschietti will be the first one to see the script when it's done. So again, the director of the film isn't writing the script, but he's going to be the first one to see the script. Well, okay, what if he doesn't like it? Does James Gunn just say, too bad, I'm in charge, go make the movie? Okay, well, now you're going in with all this poor energy. You're going with a lack of willpower. Or, does Andy Muschietti just not care? I mean, again, I think you would think that the director would be more involved in the writing process if he's not outright writing it himself. So that one was a little concerning. But I just I just want a new Batman movie. But speaking of Batman, James Gunn then on the heels of that said that the new Batman, the one that we're going to be introduced to for the new DC universe, he said that perhaps that Batman could appear in another movie or another project simply before The Brave and the Bold. Like, we got that little tease, Creature Commandos, which is animated, but it's still Batman. But there's been heavy speculation that the upcoming Clayface movie could feature Batman, since Clayface is a Batman villain. And I even said this myself on this very show. I think that with Clayface coming out at least before Batman in terms of the calendar, in terms of the release calendar, because this Clayface movie appears to be, just moving along swimmingly. It's going to come out in 2026, September 11th, 2026, mind you, which is before anything Batman related. And so the idea that you're going to do a Batman villain centered movie without Batman is a little odd. Like, again, they did that in Joker, but that one was kind of, you know, a thing outside the box. Plus, that was prior to James Gunn coming over and receiving control. And even in the Joker movie, they still did a nod to Batman because you see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed. Spoiler for Joker and spoiler for the mythos of Batman. But yeah, James Gunn has said that it's possible we might see the new Batman appear before Brave and the Bold, and I think that that heavily points towards the Clayface movie. And speaking of that movie, James Gunn did reveal that James Watkins has been confirmed to be the director of said movie. And I'm not real familiar with him as a director because he makes a lot of scary stuff and a lot of horror movies. And, if you know anything about me, for like every 100 scary movies that are made, I watch like two, so I really have to be in the right mood and the right zone to want to, be interested in that kind of fare. But he did make a movie that I watched, and I didn't realize, he made it at the time. So I have a little bit of a history with his filmmaking. He made a movie called Bastille Day, which I believe was released in America under the title of The Take. And the plot or the idea of Bastille Day is actually pretty interesting, hence why I checked it out. And it has to do with this pickpocket who is moving through Bastille, and he steals this guy's backpack, and he's going after the wallet and the phone and whatever else is valuable inside there. And so after he gets what he wants, he throws the backpack away, and he doesn't realize he's pickpocketed a terrorist. And so when he throws the bag away, just moments later, it blows up. There was a bomb inside there. And so when the police arrive to begin their investigation, they go after this pickpocket because he was technically the last one to have the bag, and and then it's about him and this cop navigating the criminal underworld and whatnot. And of course, this guy is a street level crook, so he can show the cop around and stuff. And on paper, it was really interesting, hence why I checked it out. And then I saw the movie, and I honestly don't remember much about it at all. I know it stars Idris Elba and Richard Madden, but that's about it. I seemingly remember there being like I feel like a lot of nudity in that movie, which I don't like. I don't like that kind of stuff. It's just usually really excessive and gross. If I remember correctly, at the very beginning of the movie, I think the pickpocket makes his girlfriend like get partially naked and like walk around to like distract people so he can get their wallets that way. Like it was really odd, and to be honest, I probably should have turned it off after that point because I don't think the film was much better, than that. I think with Bastille Day, it was a case of the trailer is better than the movie. So look, with James Watkins, I'm sure they got him because he's more driven, I think, by scary stuff. Perhaps that's why Bastille Day wasn't very good, was because that was more action oriented and adventure stuff. But, he made a movie called Speak No Evil pretty recently, and that film did turn a profit. That stars James McAvoy, I believe. Again, I never saw it, but I remember seeing the poster and the trailer. So I think that if they're going to lean into the more scary elements of Clayface with like, the human body changing and like losing oneself of identity and one's own personhood and becoming more of a monster, then perhaps it could be good. But I'm hopeful for the Clayface movie. I mean, we'll see what can happen with that. Clayface is a very interesting and fun character, so hopefully it equals for a fun and interesting movie. And also, with the Clayface movie, this has not been confirmed. This is more of the rumor mill. There's rumors that potentially Kieran Culkin, known for the Home Alone movies, and most recently A Real Pain, that movie made by Jesse Eisenberg. He's up for an Oscar with that one. Kieran Culkin could perhaps play Clayface, or Daniel Radcliffe, known for being Harry Potter. There's rumors that either one of them are in the running to play Clayface, to play the lead in that movie. That comes from Jeff Snyder, and via his podcast, The Hot Mic, that he does with John Roca. Shout out John Roca. I've been listening to him for years, and yeah, there's a possibility that they are potentially, on the front list for this role. The thing about Clayface though is that, like, and I don't mean to discredit the project or the actors or anyone who ends up getting this job, because this is a dream role, but like with Clayface, you're going for the monster. You're gonna want to see, him transform and become this big blob that can shapeshift and do all this stuff. You're not really going for the actor who's playing, the dude. Like nobody goes to a Batman movie for Bruce Wayne. You don't go watch Superman for Clark Kent. And so I don't know how important it is to get a name, a quote unquote big name, for the Clayface movie. For marketing, it makes all the sense in the world. Both of these guys are well known names. Um, Daniel Radcliffe, he's going to ride Harry Potter until he's 90. So, I mean, his name is firmly cemented, as is Culkin's, with the Home Alone stuff. But I mean, even now, he's become a real serious actor who, again, is up for awards, right now. And so, both these guys are hot, in terms of their appeal for the screen. So if it's announced that either of these actors get the role of Clayface, then great. But also, if it comes out that they both passed and they get, a quote unquote no name that no one's really ever heard of, I think that's fine too. I don't think you need a big name for the Clayface movie, because I think that the character of Clayface is going to sell this, and the idea of maybe getting a Batman tease is going to sell this. But yeah, there's possibility that Radcliffe or Culkin could be in the could be in line for this role. James Gunn actually did comment on Radcliffe specifically. He said that they have not been in contact with him. Could be, a bunch of smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. He did not comment on Culkin, which is kind of interesting, but he did comment on Radcliffe. So yeah, who knows what's going on with the Clayface movie. Anyway, moving on, James Gunn also revealed the first image of an upcoming Green Lantern show. Yes, kids, there's a live action Green Lanterns TV show coming out. It is simply titled Lanterns. This is coming via HBO and the streaming service Max. And this stars Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. And this is the first image here. And at first glance, you might be thinking like, what the heck is this? Where's the green in my Green Lanterns? And then you have to look close, zoom in, and enhance, and you'll see, boom, there's the ring right there. Yes, kids, this is a terrestrial-based show. This thing is set on Earth, but make no mistake, this is still Green Lantern centric, and there is the ring right there. And I think the reason why James Gunn released this picture is because that might have been to announce the first day of filming. So I don't think they even have anything like suit wise to show, or anything like power wise to show. I think it's in its first couple of days of filming. So we'll get some stuff eventually, but yeah, this is more of an announcement, like we're in production, but they still gave us that little glimpse of the ring there, which I'm like, that's all I need, man. Like just that little hint of Green Lantern. I'm like, oh yes. And we get our first glimpse of the Green Lantern universe inside Superman, as Nathan Fillion is playing a Green Lantern in that movie, which that's a long time coming. That guy has a long history with the Green Lantern character, so to finally see him get to play Green Lantern is long overdue. But that'll be fantastic. But yes, we get our first glimpse of Green Lantern in the Superman movie, and then we get to have that expanded via a TV show in 2026, I believe. And I'm looking forward to either Fillion or one of these two guys say the Green Lantern oath. I hope it's Nathan Fillion, because again, he's more associated with Green Lantern than either Kyle Chandler or Aaron Pierre. But yeah, let's see. Do I know the Green Lantern oath? Yes, I do. Gun to my head? Yes, I do. Okay, I can do this. The Green Lantern oath. Okay, gun to my head. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Yeah, baby, I still got it. Okay, this is yeah. The Green Lantern TV show comes out in 2026, and boy, I can't wait. And speaking of Green Lantern, in addition to the first image reveal regarding their live action treatment of Green Lantern, there was also an announcement regarding an animated version as well, this also being a series titled My Adventures with Green Lantern. And if you're not familiar with this kind of catalog that they're now creating around their DC characters, there's already a TV show, an animated show called My Adventures with Superman, and that's on the streaming service Max. And I have not watched that. I've only seen clips like on YouTube and I've seen images elsewhere. It looks good. I hear it's charming and delightful. And I like the art of it. So I think I'll check that out eventually. But it sounds like they're going to do the same treatment as they did with Superman in that medium with Green Lantern. And so we've got the live action treatment coming in Lanterns, and we've got the animated version coming in My Adventures with Green Lantern. So, yeah, you can never have too much Green Lantern in your life, kids. That's just a simple fact. All right, kids, and as we progress into the last segment here of the show, we'll do this last bit as kind of a news roundup because James Gunn did drop some other interesting tidbits regarding other upcoming projects. So let's dive on into those. Firstly, the Swamp Thing movie, which is said to be directed by James Mangold, the guy that made the Logan movie, the Wolverine movie, as well as a Complete Unknown, which is in theaters now and up for some awards. He is said to be helming a Swamp Thing movie. However, James Gunn did say that they're going to wait for his schedule to be free. So it sounds like this project is being entirely spearheaded by Mangold. And James Gunn is like, hey, we're not going to pass it off. We're going to wait for him, which is kind of sad because Mangold has some upcoming projects, one of them being a Star Wars project. And Lord knows that Lucasfilm is not going to want to wait. So I imagine we're a few years away from the Swamp Thing movie, which is a big bummer because Swamp Thing is such a great character. But I honestly wonder if James Gunn really wants to get like a creature feature out, hence why he's pushing that Clayface movie so hard. I wonder if the Clayface film is meant to kind of tide us over until the Swamp Thing movie comes out, which, hey, I'll wait as long as it needs to for this thing to be great. And James Mangold is a great filmmaker, so I'm looking forward to it, but I guess we're just going to have to wait a little longer for that one. Also, James Gunn. There's too many Jameses. There's James Gunn and James Mangold and James Watkins. James Gunn also provided an update regarding the movie known as The Authority. I have no idea what this is. He said it's on the back burner. I think this is like a group movie, like a super team up movie, but I think it's like Suicide Squad. I don't know, but he said it's on the back burner, so I'm not really too, upset about it, but whatever. What I am interested in though is Supergirl. As you know, that's my most anticipated film of 2026. He described that movie as beautiful, gritty, and an epic sci-fi film. So, I mean, give me more. How about some more set pics, James Gunn? But I'll take a nice description. Beautiful, gritty, and a good sci-fi film. Heck yeah, I'm there. He also talked about how Crypto the super dog, the dog that we're going to see in the Superman movie, there is a series of short films in development for him, and each one, there's going to be four in total, each one is described as seasonal themed shorts. So I imagine it's like Crypto celebrates Christmas and Crypto's big Halloween trip and all that stuff. So I imagine they're going to do seasonal short stories. from the dog we meet in Superman, and I'm there for that, man. Like serve me up. That sounds like good family fun. And then there's actually some people here I'm not familiar with who are attached to other projects. Matthew Orton, never heard of him before. He's writing a script for a Deathstroke and Bane duo movie, which again, much like Joker and much like Clayface, some of these films are centered around Batman villains. Both Deathstroke and Bane are villains of Batman, so there's potentially a chance that Batman could appear in any of these films. But there's gonna reportedly be a team up movie with Deathstroke and Bane, and I guess Matthew Orton is writing that script. So great, can't wait. We've seen Bane on the big screen before, and wait, no, I guess we have seen Deathstroke technically in that post-credit scene for Justice League. Ugh. I mean, the suit looked great, but that movie was ugh. So yeah, long overdue for a good Deathstroke adaptation, and him teaming up with Bane. Sure, I'll watch it, no problem. And then I'm gonna mispronounce this name. Uh, Anna uh, Noguera, again, sorry if I mispronounced that. She is said to be writing a Teen Titans movie, and this movie is said to follow the same lineup of characters from the original TV show, and that is awesome. My whole family liked that show back in the early 2000s when that thing was coming on Cartoon Network, and yeah, the Teen Titans are incredible. I've never been a big Robin guy, but especially when he's paired alongside Batman. So like Brave and the Bold, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. But I love Robin in the sense that he gets to lead his own team, being the Teen Titans. And yeah, if it follows the TV show, that's gonna include Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg, maybe Terra, maybe oh my gosh, maybe Deathstroke as well because Deathstroke was the villain in the Teen Titans show. Ooh, that could easily tie into that Deathstroke and Bane movie. I bet those are kind of going in tandem there. I just realized that now, kids. I had an epiphany. Eureka, as the kids say. So yeah, that's some other updates regarding some upcoming DC projects, and I'm sure there's others I've missed. I'm sure there are other announcements and other projects in development that perhaps he commented on. But yeah, James Gunn decided to do this kind of um, set the record straight type of presentation regarding some upcoming projects. And I'm all there, man. Like I said earlier in the show, I'm so there for that Superman film. I mean, I can't wait for that. And I'm so looking forward and I'm so excited for the future of DC. I think the future is really bright for them. As bright as the bat signal, so whenever they do stuff like this and they shine that bat signal for us fans everywhere, I'm gonna do, some coverage like this. So please, get ready for all the superhero fare because it's coming and it kicks off with Superman this July. And yeah, hopefully I will see you at the movies. All right, I have been your far out host. You have been my far out audience, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.